Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here for the last meeting for the year, which is a meeting for Monday, 23rd of December 2024. And I will therefore do our acknowledgement. Devonport City Council acknowledges and pays respects to the Palawa Pakina people as the traditional and original owners of Lutruwita and continuing custodians of this land on which we gather. We also acknowledge and pay our respects to the Tasmanian Aboriginal elders past and present. All persons in attendance are advised that it is council policy to record council meetings in accordance with council's digital recording policy. The digital recording of this meeting will be made available to the public on council's website for a minimum period of 6 months. The meeting will also be live streamed on council's YouTube channel. So we have a full attendance of our wonderful councillors. Thank you, everybody. Any declarations of interest? Councillor Moore?
I have a declaration of interest for item 5.6. I nominated somebody for one of those committees.
Thank you. Any other further? Councillor Wojcinski?
5.6, also referee for one of the people.
Sorry, I'm staying in the room.
Yes,
Staying.
Thank you. Any other declarations of interest? No, thank you. Move on to item 3, which is procedural. 3.1 is the confirmation of minutes. If I could have a move of recommendation, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy and Councillor Ennis. Councillor Murphy.
As stated, manually procedural.
Thank you, Councillor Ennis.
Nothing further there.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, Councillor Murphy to
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. So 3.2, public question time. 3.2.1 is responses to questions raised at meetings. If I can have a move, please.
So moved.
Councillor Barney, thank you.
Second.
And Councillor Murphy. Councillor Barney.
Thank you, Mayor. Those responses are minuted and there for people to see if they need.
Thank you.
I concur with Councillor Viney there.
Well, thank you, Councillor Murphy. Further comment or questions from the other councillors? If not, Councillor Barney to close, please.
Consider it closed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 3.2.2 is questions on notice from public. Again, if I could have a move of recommendation.
So moved.
Councillor Moore. Thank you. And seconder.
Second.
Councillor Murphy. Councillor Moore.
Yeah, all the responses are there to see. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy.
Oh, I also concur with Councillor Moore.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? If not, Councillor Moore to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 3.2.3 is questions without notice from the public. I have lovely people in the gallery here tonight. Thank you very much. Mr. Jenny.
Thank you, Mayor. My name's Douglas Janney, 23 Watkinson Street, Devonport, Tasmania. The intersection of Fenton and Best Streets is raised. What is the purpose?
In my opinion, to slow the traffic down, but I will get the General Manager to give you a little bit more detail.
Yes, that's correct, Mayor, through you. There is a report that was in the agenda last month that does explain the rationale behind the changes within the CBD. It's about making a safer road network through the CBD area, and there's a number of initiatives, and one of those is a number of raised intersections.
Okay. Are the intersections going to be changed to the same raised bit?
It could possibly, but again, there's more detail coming from the GM would be nice.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. Yeah, I'd refer you to the report that was in the agenda last month. There's a number of intersections that are proposed to be raised.
Thank you.
Welcome. Further questions from the gallery? Mr. Garden.
Malcolm Garden, Beaumont Drive, Mount Devon.
Mayor, with reference to the questions on notice and the general manager's response on pages 6 and 7 of tonight's agenda, I refute the responses given as it is not totally correct. In fact, despite previous requests of a similar nature, the GM has never answered these basic questions and instead has given responses that have skirted around doing so. Accordingly, through you, Mayor, I asked the GM if there were never any delay claims for extensions of time or delay cost claims submitted by the waterfront parkland redevelopment contractor associated with delays caused by the hotel builder, whether approved or not, then why will the GM not unambiguously just state no to the 3 simple questions asked?
Well, that was what the GM answered you, and we were quite happy with that. But you're not happy with that, I can tell.
No, it's not totally correct.
What's
It's
what?
never been answered. Those questions never been directly answered. I've got a lot of questions without in them, answers without in them, but it's never been directly answered. Why can't you just say no? If we're so confident, no delay costs were ever submitted, no extensions due to the hotel bill were ever submitted, just say no.
Was this back in 2016?
Huh?
Was this all back in 2016?
Yeah, because it takes 3 years to go through the Ombudsman's office, so that's why
It's
you get the.
2020, almost 2025.
Sorry?
It's almost 2025. You're asking about something back in 2016.
That's
still.
correct.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that, because you don't ever get answered, direct answer. So, your response, that's all I'm looking for.
Thank you.
Why can't we say no?
Through you, Mayor, look, the previously explained to Mr. Garden, there's a public question time process to come and ask questions about council. There's a right to information process that's outlined in legislation. In regard to all these contractual matters, you've been pursuing that through a right to information process. We've provided all that information. We've written to you again saying that you have all that documentation, written to reconfirm that a number of times. So I'm not going to enter into some sort of cross-examination or commentary around that information. You've got the information the council's got. You can make your own interpretation from that. We're comfortable that all the information's been provided.
Thank you for that. So I've got another non-answer, but it's with the Ombudsman, or we'll go to the Ombudsman and say, we'll wait 3 years. I guess I'll have to wait 3 years, come back and tell you whether you were right or you're wrong. Second question, Madam Chair. On the 18th of October, I wrote to all councillors, make them individually aware as to adverse findings by the Ombudsman in relation to case reference R2208-006, dated September 24, as available on the Ombudsman's website, highlighting the findings and requesting councillors acquaint themselves with those findings. At the time, I only received 4 acknowledgements of receipt. On the 12th of November, about a month later, I forwarded a follow-up letter seeking a response to the following 4 basic questions. 1, have you read my letter dated 8th of October? 2, have you read the Ombudsman decision dated 8th September? Have you ever read the reference document, Good Governance Guide for Local Government in Tasmania? That's a good document. If you have read these documents, do you fully understand what the Ombudsman's decision means? To the second letter, I received 2 acknowledgements of receipt and 1 automatic out of office response, from which from those 3, only 1 responded to the questions asked. I thank Councillor Murphy for that. And accordingly, again through you, Mayor, I asked the remaining councillors what is so difficult in showing common courtesy by firstly acknowledging receipt of a letter and secondly respond to 4 simple questions that needed no research whatsoever to answer.
Well, I apologise if I didn't answer you back.
Oh, I know you didn't.
Okay.
You responded, but you didn't answer. You get no indication, no effort whatsoever. Only 1 councillor made an effort to answer the questions I gave. And that's it. No research was required whatsoever. It referred to the individual councillor. Did you read this? Have you read that? Have you read that? Did you understand if you read it? That's all it was. Simple.
Thank you.
Thank you. In my letter dated the 18th of October and the 12th of November to each councillor, I advised of some 16 items requested within 4 external RTI reviews of the council's principal officer's determinations. The Ombudsman determined to either vary or find that reasons for not disclosing information were not made out by council in 87.5% of those matters. 75% were not made out and 12.5% were varied. The Ombudsman also expressed that council's approach does not meet the requirements of the Act. And he stated, I urge council to be more diligent in future regarding compliance with the Act. Accordingly, again through you, Mayor, I asked if the principal officer's interpretations of the RTI Act as repeatedly overturned by the Ombudsman, and by extension, interpretations condoned by councillors, and in the face of repeated adverse findings by the Ombudsman's office, if that is acceptable to councillors to continue to knowingly send ratepayer RTI requests off to the Ombudsman for final determination.
Well, it is a process.
Knowing that that process takes around another 3 years from the date of requesting an external review, leaving ratepayers still seeking answers years after the event. Is that acceptable to the councillors?
We can give you an answer back in writing if you like. In my personal opinion, it is a process that you have to go through if you want to do an RTI.
I think, Madam Chair, can I ask, have you read the Ombudsman's report?
Yes, I have. I haven't memorised it, but I have read it.
Did you get it that the Ombudsman has on 4 occasions, I think it's 4 now, certainly 4 from the last report, is that council has basically misrepresented the Act, and he sort of got a little bit short, but they kept getting sent back to him. And let me just put it this way, out of the Living City project, I have every contract except for the council Voss contract for the waterfront. That is currently with the Ombudsman because it's been knocked back. Every other one, Providore Place, replacement Providore Place, PDMA with P+I, Fairbrother for stage 1, land sale agreement for the hotel, memorandum of understanding for the hotel. I have all of those, and all of those had to go through the Ombudsman because council knocked back releasing them, and the Ombudsman overturned that. So you can understand, is council going to continue to send people to the
No,
Ombudsman?
just you at the moment.
Just me, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just clarify, Mayor, a
Sure.
few things around that. I refer to that letter of Mr. Garnes. It was difficult to understand where the 87% came from. We found it much different from that, but anyway, we didn't want to waste too much time trying to clarify that. But I will point out the 2 things that the Ombudsman did, 2 reasons that he picked us up on in that most recent letter. One was to do with commercial and confidence matters, and what you failed to mention was that he did go on to say, due to the passage of time, it was okay to now release those items. So it's incorrect to say that we've got it wrong in the initial assessment. He did refer quite a few times to the passage of time, and basically said that, for example, the Providore Place head lease is no longer in existence, so therefore release of those documents was fine. The other reason that where we had a disagreement or different view than the Ombudsman was to do with items that were determined in closed session. We've had a legal opinion on that. We believe our position is correct. He has a different view to that. Like we've said in the letters to you, we respected his findings, and like you mentioned, you've got all those documents now, and we're not hanging on to any.
Clearly what the Ombudsman said was that just because a contract goes to a closed session, if it's not drafted specifically for the closed session, and he pointed that out in a number of times, it is not exempt under the closed session ruling. And that's why I got all those contracts eventually. I also, with the Fairbrother contract and with the Voss contract down there, I deliberately waited till the contracts were concluded before I asked for them, so I wasn't asking for them during the operational period of the contract. And that's why I left the Voss one until after it was all resolved to ask for it back in February this year. So, yeah, some of what you say is correct, General Manager, but not all of it. and it's not exactly what's been presented there, because you're still knocking back contracts which is repeatedly overturned. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. Further comments or questions from the gallery? No, we will move on. Thank you very much. 3.3 is questions on notice from councillors. We have none. 3.4 is notice of motions. We have none. Item 4, planning authority matters. Council intends to act as a planning authority under the Land Use and Planning and Approvals Act 1993 for the consideration of all reports under agenda section 4. Under section 4, we have 4.1, which is just the updated delegations. The recommendation is there in all the information. If I can have a mover, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. As
Second.
Councillor Vine, thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. This is more a procedural thing. I wonder if there's anything else with respect to another agenda item in tonight's agenda. There is some requirements under the Act for us to comply with these delegations, which will reflect the General Manager's title moving forward to Chief Executive Officer. So we need to make necessary changes.
Thank you. Councillor Vine.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll agree with Councillor Murphy's understanding of this agenda item, and that's it. Yeah, I agree. Just merely procedural one.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, Councillor Murphy, close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 5 is reports. 5.1 being land acquisition, 3.9 Mersey Road and parties 31 to 49 Mersey Road Straight. All the information has been provided. If I could have a mover, please.
So
Councillor Moore, and seconded was Councillor Hollister. Thank you. Councillor Moore?
thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to support the in-principle support to dispose of public land for the Northwest Support School. This was something that the council was pretty keen to keep in Devonport, and Councillor Martin did some exceptional work in with those families so that they didn't have to travel to Penguin for their schooling. And so this is just the next step in that. I do note that it's in principle support. There are still some things to work out, such as the turning circle for the school, the parking for scouts, and the Maidstone Caretakers Cottage. But I'm very happy to support this as it is.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister?
Yes, I'm supporting this as well. This is the next step in the Northwest Support School being redeveloped, which is probably way overdue.
Thank you. Further comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Sheen?
Yeah, no, I'm really happy to support that motion. I think it's a much better outcome than the John College Oval for what it's worth. And while there are a few hurdles, let's hope we'll sort of roll out next year.
Thank you. Further comments? Councillor Ennis?
Thank you. Yes, I agree. I'm really concerned about the turning circle, which has been essential for the Sprayton School community, picking up, dropping off students, etc. So, I'm not a planner, but I would think that they just leave the turning circle there and so use it and be good. But anyway, hopefully they'll get worked out on.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy?
Thank you, Mayor, and I'm with Councillor Ennis on that. I think then there is a significant opportunity for council moving forward to engage with the ECYP to actually have a look at some of the traffic management issues that we have in and around Mersey Main Road and with the Sprayton Primary School, as well as the Scout Hall as well, and the impact that it will have on them in that precinct. But I think there is an opportunity for us to work collaboratively with them to address some of these issues moving forward. It's a site that they've determined meets their needs. It's unfortunate that the other one that was preferred by council didn't meet that, but that's part of the process that we have to go through. It just does, however, it does put some pressure on council with respect to getting our sporting precinct completed down here at the Bluff for the transition for Devon Netball Association to relocate. So it will be a longer term project.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Very supportive of the Northwest Support School and it being relocated from present site. Certainly, present site is outdated and it certainly needed new facilities to provide the opportunity for the students to enhance and grow their own abilities. And that's very important for our communities, stretching from Olsen through to Deloraine. And I'm sure that plans going ahead will provide that facility. I do note that it is contingent on the relocation of the Devonport Netball Association. So there's a bit of work to do there as far as the new stadium goes. I do have one question though. Under the financials implications in the report, the last paragraph, it says the donation of land would also require council to remove it. I presume that's typo.
Yes, there was some information sent out to us very late this afternoon, so that we did know that wording was incorrect. It's meant to say disposal.
Disposal. Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wilkinson.
Yes, I'm just in support of this. It's great that we've found a space for them that they're happy with and can develop. Also, just touching on what Councillor Martin has said, it is the sale for a sale price. It is not a gift, and it's a sale price of some public land. So I agree with this. I think it's worthy to support. And yeah, let's go.
Thank you. Further comments? I'm certainly very happy that the minister's changed his mind from putting them out at Penguin, which wasn't going to work for all the wonderful families here that do rely on the Northwest Support School of the Devonport branch. So it's great that we've found a space that will be, I think, not only appropriate, but at the end of the day, I think Sprayton Primary will benefit from being able to improve on their access as well around a very, very busy road. I spoke to the principal the other day and he's totally aware that that's what they're going to try and do, is work in with this new school once it's been built and work out better access. And that will improve everything for everybody that uses both schools. We're growing. Devonport's growing. Doesn't matter what we're doing. Everything that is added causes more traffic, more people, more congestion, more. And that's what we need to do, is just be very smart about this and make sure that we're always aware that the public have asked about, you know, where am I going to go? How am I going to get there? How am I going to get in and out easy? So it's all about access. So we're certainly going to be working on that into the future with this. So it is a great move, and it's just part of the jigsaw puzzle of all these different things that are going on around in our wonderful city. So I'm very, very pleased. Councillor Moore, to close, please.
No, consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much. 5.2 is the funding submission from Devonport Country Club that bowls Australia Nationals. The information is all there. If I could have a move,
Can I move the motion, please, Mayor, to defer this one?
Councillor Lunny, you'd like to lay it on the table?
Yes, please.
Do I have a seconder for that?
Second.
Councillor Sheen, sorry. And someone else as well, sorry. So I will ask you just need to speak to it. It's just laying on the table. Yes. Yeah. So if you're happy with that.
Yeah, I just think due to some correspondence we got today and the amount that we're talking about, I think it's worth a bit more discussion, because I think I think there's probably a compromise here somewhere.
Okay, Councillor Sheen, you're happy to second.
Very happy.
Yeah, thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? They don't need to. That's fine. No problem, we'll just put it to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. So therefore, we will not discuss that one. We'll go on to 5.3, which is Chief Executive Officer Title Policy. The recommendation is there. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved. Second.
Councillor Murphy and Councillor Ennis. Thank you, Councillor Murphy.
As stated earlier, Mayor, the decision of council was made in line with to align ourselves with other councils around the state with the change in title, the general manager to chief executive officer. It's more an industry thing than anything else. There hasn't been a change in the legislation, although there should be. However, we are required, due to delegations that the general manager has, we need to adopt a policy around how that's handled, specifically respect to other roles that occur, but also in the general manager signing off on certificates and et cetera, et cetera. So it's really just a procedural thing.
Thank you, Councillor Ennis.
Yeah, thank you. We're not really going out on a limb here. This has been done by many other councils, and it is very important that we just pass this so that the new title is bestowed upon the general manager.
Thank you. Good comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Luczynski?
Just that I'm in favour of it, and it's just upgrading ourselves to keep ahead of where we are at.
No problem. Any further comments? If not, I will ask Councillor Murphy to close.
Thank you, Mayor. It is worth noting that we did obtain legal advice with respect to making sure that we are compliant with this policy. So therefore, I commend it to my fellow councillors to endorse.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.4 is standing delegation appointment of acting chief executive officer. The recommendation is there. I can have a move.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy, and who's sorry, second? Councillor Foster, sorry. Councillor Murphy.
Mayor, this is a flow-on effect from 5.3. As stated, it's merely a procedural action that we must comply with. So again, I commend it for our councillors to endorse.
Thank you, Councillor Holmes.
I think further to add, just a question.
Your lights, no. Now this.
If the general manager and the deputy general manager are not available, just somebody else, what's the procedure to appoint someone else?
Thank you.
Through the mayor. So in that circumstance, the mayor has authority under the Act to appoint somebody. So in the case previously, both Kylie and Matt have acted as general manager and received a memo from the mayor. It's just clarified that just advise which clause they're appointed under and under what conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments, questions from the councillors? If not, I will ask Councillor Murphy to close.
Consider closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.5 is the tender report, contract 1361 and lease to transfer. The recommendation is there. If I can remove it, please. Councillor Hollister, and a second, please.
A second.
Councillor Murphy. Councillor Hollister.
This is just for a new 3-year contract for the most transfer awards.
Thank you.
Further to add?
Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. There has been some changes with respect to the financial implications of where we're sitting with this. However, they are positive, so that's a good thing. And it just shows that we're progressing with how we handle our waste transfer.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Barney.
Thank you, Mayor. I think it is worth mentioning that there was only the one company that submitted for the tender, but it stacked up well against what council are after, and it kind of makes sense. So I don't think there was any surprises. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Further comments? If not, I'll ask councillor Hollister to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.6, moving right along. Endorsement of membership of the council committees. If I have a mover of the recommendations, please.
So moved.
Councillor Martin, thank you. And a seconder?
So second.
Councillor Moore, thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you. See that council has several committees and we've got some new members amongst them, as well as our normal members. I just take this opportunity to thank all that are involved in our committees for their ongoing work and support, and wish them all a Merry Christmas and New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, by my count, that's about 34 people that have offered up their expertise, their experience, their opinions to collaborate with council. So just as Councillor Martin did, just want to thank those people for putting themselves out there and for the time they give. It makes us as the Devonport community so much stronger when we have a bigger mix of people.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I concur with Councillor Martin. It's fantastic we've had so many people put their hand up. One of the ones I would like to point out, though, is DEVIAC, Devonport Youth Advisory Group. It would be really, really good if we could see some more younger males put their hand up in that particular group moving forward, just to provide a little bit more balance with respect to and potentially council going out and actively engaging with employers who may have apprentices who may be interested in participating in that group, just to give us a broader representation of young people in our community. I think there's been a significant uptake in 16-year-old apprentices now across in the construction industry, which would be a good one to tap into, because obviously with the significant amount of construction that's happening within our city, it'd be good to get their perspective, how that's happening. I think that'd be critically important. So considering that they're learning on the job in those big projects, so I think that one would be really good. But again, for those people that have put their hand up, thank you and well done.
Thank you. Further comments, questions from councillors? I suppose I'd just like to point out that it's so easy for people to say that council don't do enough community consultation. This is a perfect example of community consultation. We do it constantly. We do it all the time. And this is just one of the examples of how we do so well. I don't know how many committees we've got. 12, 10, something like that. I don't know. But anyway. So it is interesting that we just are always doing it. And we're very, very lucky that these people, give up their time. So we're very, very fortunate. I will ask Councillor Martin to close, please.
Consider it closed. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.7 is changes to fees and charges. And the recommendation is there on all the information. If I could have a move, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Viney and Councillor Sheen. Thank you, Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. If I'm understanding this correctly, this is more a procedural thing with some changes to do with GST not being subject to burial rights. And so, just read this verbatim, the fees that council will receive will be the same, though the cost of the community will differ due to GST being removed from that burial right. And that's the reason for the change. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, you're welcome. Councillor Sheen.
Yeah, I think that's a welcome change. Support motion.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? Councillor Ennis?
Yeah, essentially cheaper to die now.
Thank you. Councillor Martin, no. Any further comments? You've got me there. Councillor Viney to close then, please.
Bit more, but Councillor Ennis, don't normally worry about it once you're dead, but consider it closed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 6 is information. 6.1 is workshops and briefing sessions. If I can have a move, please.
So moved. Second.
Councillor Murphy and Councillor Martin. Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Just merely procedural, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? If not, councillor Murphy close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried unanimously. 6.2 is Cradle Coast Waste Management Group annual report. I move it, please, of the recommendation. Councillor Martin, thank you. And a seconder?
Second.
Councillor Murphy. Councillor Martin.
Thank you. Comprehensive report. It's important that where possible, the diversion of waste from landfill becomes a priority and continually improves. As for instance, FOGO, the annual average of municipal solid waste per person was in 2023, its financial year, has increased in this year by 12%, which means that each one of us are throwing out an extra 52 kilograms per person each year. And that's why FOGO and recycling is so important. I just note that having introduced FOGO this year, that we hope to reduce the landfill and where possible, it's more important that we all should be doing our bit, even more so now as our population grows and the rubbish grows. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, it was a very comprehensive report. There will be some significant challenges for the group moving forward. Take into consideration there's still a significant amount of items that need to be completed within their strategic plan. We've only had 7 items out of the 43 being completed so far. So I think there's going to be the next 3 years, there's going to be a lot happening in that space. But one of the takeaways, I suppose, was how proactive they've become in engaging at a community, at a real grassroots community level, and really promoting. There was a lot of angst around FOGO. However, that seems to have died down. I think council did a really good job there here locally, but I think there was a significant effort put in by the group. So it's going to be, there's going to be some challenges there, I think, in the next 3 years for them to meet that 43 target with quite a few more to go. So look, I think we're again demonstrating throughout the state that we are leaders in this region when it comes to waste management, and full credit to the group. So thank you.
Thank you. Further comments, Councillor Bill Chinsky.
Yes, I think following on from Councillor Murphy is that one of the things that we forget is that we have, I believe, one of the only enclosed system that without FOGO then being turned back into positive product to sell. Most others, because it emits methane, and methane is one of the things that our environment doesn't like, where our system or their system actually is fully enclosed. So no methane actually going out into the air. So I think, everyone in their home should look at their recycling and food waste, and 2, what an amazing place we have out there. And we're leading in that standard. So, yep, all good.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Finding.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an interesting one, FOGO, because probably contrary to what Councillor Murphy said, I still find I'm defending it to people. It comes up a bit that there's this misunderstanding that somehow FOGO has cost us all more money, regardless of people using it or not. And in the report, it mentions, I think it's worth backing over that again, is that the state landfill levy is what was increasing. So if council weren't proactive in diverting that waste from landfill to FOGO, then everyone's rates essentially were going to go up. Like, that's the stark reality. So if council had done nothing and sat on their hands and not been a part of it, then everyone's rates would have gone up. So it went from $21.06 per tonne last year to $44.88 a tonne this year, which is more than double. And then next year it'll increase to $65 a tonne. So that's the messaging that I hope gets through to people, is that FOGO is good for everyone, and especially the bottom line in their hip pockets. And if people used it properly, and there was studies to suggest that 50% of what's going to landfill should be going to FOGO. If we take the time to separate it properly, then we can all manage that. Thank you.
Thank you. That's my answer.
Yes, I agree with Councillor Viney. Everything that is put in that FOGO bin, every kilo of waste that goes in there saves everyone money to sell. Number one. So that's where council is doing its best to make things better for everyone.
Thank you. Other comments? Councillor Hollister.
Question to the General Manager.
Your turn.
Is there any chance of the levy levelling off? I know it's $140 on some areas on the mainland several years ago. So I'm just wondering if it's just all keep them going up, or do they seem to level out at all?
Yes, through you, Mayor. At the moment, the legislation only has those 3 increases. So at this point, it caps out at the $65. As to what the government chooses after that, I'm sure.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? I just like how you're all getting your heads around it so much, because it really is something that we do need to constantly talk about and get the community aware. You know, my favourite catchphrase is don't be afraid of FOGO. FOGO is your friend, because it reduces waste. And that's if we didn't do anything, it wouldn't change what people put in their rubbish bins. So we have to take the lead like we did. And I think it's incredible how it's been rolled out and where we're at already. Huge inroads into it. You know, Darlington's been there 30 years. We just had our anniversary. Wow, they come a long way from the beginning. And then we've got so many councils now involved and want to be involved in the Darlington system because it's so good. And, you know, where it started and where it's going is exciting, because it is trying to get people to reduce what they're bringing into their homes and thinking about what they're putting into their bins. You know, we've got a container scheme coming. That's going to be amazing. People won't be able to crush their cans. That'll be the big thing. But that's a good thing too. So things are improving all the time. And I suppose, you know, being an island, we've got to be very careful too. So I think we're in very good hands with this group, and it's good to be part of. If I could ask Councillor Munt, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it's about people thinking about what they're putting in their roast bins, their FOGO bins, and their recycling bins, being responsible for that to lessen the burden on landfill. It is very important, and it will be ongoing as population grows. But it's also, I might mention, on the manufacturers, it's, they're going to have to hold a little bit more responsible on their packaging as well. Consider it closed. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 6.3 is councillor attended a conference. Report by Councillor Ennis. He's going to move his own word along. Fair enough too. And if I should have a seconder. Councillor Wilczynski. Thank you. Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. I'm not going to be here a long. I'm not going to be here a long time. But I just did want to show you my shirt.
Oh, nice.
It's a work shirt.
I wonder what's going on.
I was over there.
Nice.
I attended the conference, and this was at the wonderful Weight Arboretum, and where I visited as part of the symposium. First of all, I want to say it was a really wonderful opportunity to learn, network.
You'll get up there.
A wonderful opportunity to learn, network, and probably consequently progress improvement for our city. I suggest when I did this report, and if you've had a look at it in the agenda, it's quite long, but I presented it as a sway document, which, if some of you are not aware, it's a digital storytelling app, and thanks to council staff for actually converting it back to a Word document. But there's a lot, so it's quite a different way to present your work. I did it as a learning opportunity for me as well, which was good. And now I'm an expert in sway. Not really, but I'm trying. So it is good. Let me say that already I've had an opportunity to speak with Jason Bellchambers, who's the manager of infrastructure, and I know his apology for tonight, speaking to him about it. Jeffrey Griffith, the Deputy General Manager, and Matthew Atkins, the General Manager, or CEO now. It's really important that we measure our assets. You know, we need to know the value of our assets and infrastructure, and we do it a lot with all our other infrastructure, but we are probably just a little bit behind in terms of valuing our trees and green space. So that's going to come on board. Now, we've also we always talk about trying to create links with the community, particularly with Cradle Coast at campus of the University of Tasmania. Been very fortunate to meet with Sonia Stanford, who's the Pro Vice Chancellor of the Cradle Coast, and we are building a really good relationship with her and some of the other people from UTAS. That's what we want. I've been on to her quite a bit about it, and so there'll be a really good opportunity for us to collaborate, and work together on quite a few projects going forward with this. So this initially is just a detailed report on the conference, but there's a lot of things that I will have to come back to in terms of motions from this that I'll commend to you probably in the next month or so. Afterwards, I'll let you digest this bit first, but let me say it was well worth the trip, and it hopefully will have great ramifications for our city going forward.
Thank you. Councillor Wilchinson.
Yes, I think it was great that Jared or Councillor Ennis found this tree symposium to go to. He walked in, and I think the first person said, "I love your arboretum," like Tasmanian arboretum. It definitely wasn't above his pay grade. He was well included in the whole structure of it all, and has brought back a lot of information. And I look forward to working with him with what we can do with trees, green space. Yeah, well done.
Okay. Further comments from the councillors at all? Councillor Sheep.
Yep. Okay, I had a question and a comment. Just in your report, Councillor, do you talk a bit more to the collaboration between University of Adelaide or South Australia
Yes.
and UTAS? What specifically are they collaborating?
Yes, I can tell you that when I went out to the Waite Arboretum, which is sort of in the confines of the city of Adelaide, pretty close. I've been to Adelaide a number of times. I've been past the units there, which I did find out, which was really good. So what happens there, when I first arrived, it's a big, very big old building, obviously owned by somebody Waite. And what they've done is nearby, I noticed the university was there. There was a campus of the university. Campus of the university was obviously studied trees, did all sorts of things. And so I thought this was a really good opportunity. And I noticed that when we got there, they had a fantastic app for walking around, having a look at the Arboretum with suggested walks, every tree identified. If you go on whatever app store you go to, you can download it. It is fantastic. And I thought immediately, would it be great if we could build an app like that for around Devonport, around the Arboretum in particular, and so that people could have this, download it, be able to go around. It really enhances your experience of having a look at what is a fantastic asset for Tasmania, Devonport, and also with the all the other trees. Now, there's no reason why we can't have every tree. When you walk along anywhere around here, down the foreshore in particular, what's this? Open up the app. That's that. When was it planted? What was, how often it's been attended to, etc. Now, I know in Adelaide, for example, they water it, but here we probably don't have to water our trees much. We've got a finer climate. Yep.
Okay, so that's been done in conjunction with
Yes.
Adelaide. Yep. Okay. Also, fun fact: before I joined council, I lobbied council as a business owner to put some street trees in Best Street where my office is, and apparently, due to a lot of telco infrastructure, wasn't possible. So they put them on Oldacre Street. So the Oldacre Street looks great now. I'm hugely supportive of the concept. I look forward to the workshop next year. I'd like to see some concrete motions come out of this because it really is, as they said, best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. So let's crack on. And thank you for your efforts in preparing the report.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? As I sent you a message, it was a really detailed report and it was thoroughly enjoyable to read it. And so well done on the report. So I must find out more about this one. Thank you. So if I could ask Councillor Anderson if you could close for today.
Thank you. Yes, Build Nature In is something that's going to be, that's been in my head, and Build Nature in Devonport, and it will become a really good plan for our city. That's my hope, that we've got a lot of really good plans and we do a really good job of putting these together, and they've enabled us to attract a lot of funding and really support our city. Well, once we get this, we'll be in a really good shape. So UTAS are going to be very supportive of us with this. I've got a lot of visits to do with community groups. The Arboretum is on my list. The Devonport Community Land Care Group, Friends of Don Reserve. I've already got some meetings set up with those people. Cole Leary, Deb Cross, Six Rivers Aboriginal Corporation. The Devonport Youth Advisory Group, once they're set up, is one I'm definitely going to be working with and seeking consultation and guidance on them as to how we go. So I'm in this report.
Thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much. So 6.4 is the Mayor's monthly report. If I can have a mover.
I move.
Councillor Hollister and a second, please. Councillor Murphy, Councillor Hollister.
We've been as busy as ever, if not more so. Nothing to it,
Thank you, Councillor Murphy.
It's Christmas time.
It is. Thank you. Any further comments or questions about Councillor Viney?
Yes, Mayor, I think I did a plum job standing in for you and the Deputy Mayor at Reese High School for their awards assembly.
Thank you.
Plum. Yeah.
I
was wearing
the assemblies on at the same time.
I was wearing the Christmas suit and representing the council.
I heard. Thank you. Further comments or questions at all? If not, I will ask. Councillor Shannon, sorry.
Thanks, Mayor. The interview with Sky News on the standard industry. I think that sort of summarised the issues pretty well. Certainly got Devonport on the national stage, but well done on that one. Just as importantly, I note on your report and the GM's, you've been meeting with them as a yacht club, and given that a federal election is just around the corner, I'm wondering if you or the CEO in his report maybe talk to where their master planning is up to, where their funding is up to, and are they going to be submitting anything as part of the next federal election?
I'll throw it to the CEO.
Sorry, yes. Since that meeting, we've provided some feedback. We met with Terry Travers around the proposal. Actually gave him a look at another proposal for a different project and suggested he should put something together similar. Since that time, he's taken some of that feedback on board and he actually provided something just a couple of days ago, sort of a proposal document, which I understand is in the process of doing the rounds and meeting with the local members.
Okay, so from now on, sort of taking that we're doing everything we can to support them get organised, and trust your fans to Trav as well. He's been doing a great job under some difficult circumstances. Thank you.
No, it's been incredible actually. So yes, thank you for pointing that out, Joe. Thank you. No further councillor.
Thank you. I wasn't going to mention it, but in the light of Councillor Viney mentioning it, I had the privilege of attending Devonport High School and on behalf of the council. So and it was an awesome presentation.
Very lovely. Thank you. And thank you for everybody who's stepped up and been to all the things, because there's you see that there's a lot. There was a lot more than that. So there were certain things I couldn't be at, and you've all been amazing. So thank you. No further questions. I will ask Councillor Holster to close.
Should it close?
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. So 6.5 is the last time we'll have a general manager's report. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy, and second was Councillor Ennis. So thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Yes, Mayor, I look forward to pending workshops with respect to some of the conversations that have been had with the general manager. There will be some very interesting questions that we may possibly not go into tonight.
Thank you. Councillor Ennis.
Nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you for the comments or questions. Councillor Viney.
Only, Mayor, that I'd like to thank the General Manager and the rest of the executive team for helping out with the volunteer breakfast earlier this month. I think it's great that we acknowledge all those volunteers in the community, and that the senior staff on the council and the other members of council are there helping, and yourself and the councillors to give that little bit back. And spread some Christmas cheer early. I know Ruben appreciated leaving with a pocket full of candy canes.
Cheeky boy.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you. Good comments too. Further comments? If not, I will ask Councillor Murphy to close.
Consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried unanimously. 6.6, our favourite report, the monthly operational report for the end of the year. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Viney, and a seconder.
Second.
Councillor Ennis, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. I found some good things that have happened in the last month again.
Sit back.
No, it's not that many. So 3.1.8 under natural resource management, this sort of goes hand in hand with what Councillor Ennis was just talking about with trees. I believe someone did involved with council won a Green Gown Award, which I think is great for the community, for the BioBlitz at Kelsey Tier, and also talking about trees with the revegetation works that have been happening this year through either council or contractors or the Landcare Group. We're up to 4,690 seedlings, so that's a lot of new trees in the ground, which is great, and hopefully that continues on into next year. Gingerbread house hunt, I asked about at the last meeting. I was able to complete that list on Friday with Vince. We did the lot, and that was a great initiative. There was parts of the city, and I've been here for the most of the 40 years, but there was parts of the city that I hadn't been to in a long time. I was really impressed. I think it was in the Hub Arcade with some photographic artwork on the walls, and it made me stop and take it in and take a photo of it. And I don't often go to the looking for bras and lingerie, but at least I know if I do need to go shopping for that, I know exactly where to go now. And there was a couple of really good things about that initiative. It got Vince and I walking. We clocked up over 4Ks for the day.
Nice.
And as I was going around using my phone to find out where the businesses were, I was thinking, geez, this would be a lot easier with a map. And I was going to pass on that feedback. And then when I handed off my entry form, I found the map that would have been handy during the day. It was great for exercise. It got me, Vince and I out. We were able to give Santa some hints on potential presents that we might be looking forward to this week. And just being out in the community at that time, it was just great to see people out shopping, spending, having fun. I ran into a postie who said she'd seen lots and lots of parents and children doing the rounds and talking to some of the shop owners. And, you know, most of the gingerbread houses were in the window. You didn't have to go into the shop, but you know, just to say Merry Christmas and acknowledge and thanks for being a part of that initiative. And the gingerbread houses themselves, some of them were magnificent. So they had was that sorted this afternoon?
Yes.
Was it the Odyssey hairdresser one, the wooden one? Did that win?
Yes.
Did it really? Yeah, I was out there. So, yeah, well, I'm not sure if Vince won for his contract. Okay, well, we didn't win a prize, but it was good to be a part of it. He didn't know that we were doing it to win a prize anyway. So hopefully that's and becomes an annual thing because that was brilliant. I saw further down the list we've won another Tourism Taz Award. Unfortunately, it was only silver, which is probably why it hasn't been spoken about, but that was for the Paranapple Centre business events venue. So yet another award that council's received this year. I mean, I don't know where our trophy cabinet is, but presumably it's overflowing by now. And finally, I was following up from a question I asked at the last meeting. I had a phone call from Councillor Ennis during the month saying, if you've driven on the highway yet, they're pouring the footings. And so next time I was in that easterly direction, the entrance markers. So, yeah, something's afoot, yeah, there's things happening there, presumably not before Christmas, but certainly early next year, it'd be great to see those entrance markers up. And again, it got people talking like, what is it? And I'm like, they're going to look great. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ennis.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you, your work, but I had to call you at the time. One of the things that I noticed, and there's a lot of stuff in here, and thank you for picking out those wonderful items. But one that caught my eye was the Women Sport and Recreation Tasmania having a schoolgirls breakfast event in March. Something that I think will be really good for the opportunity for our young people, young ladies, young females, to understand the chance of what they can do with their sporting careers and how many opportunities there are within sport. It is truly a great time to be a lady, and this will be another good chance for, hopefully, we'll have hundreds and hundreds of young ladies here having the opportunity to see where this can take them. It can be a great opportunity. Thank you.
Welcome. Councillor Wilczynski.
Yes, I'd like to just pick up on the gingerbread house hunt because that was something I was involved in, and it was really great to have the community side to it where people are building something and presenting it so we can then make use of our retailers and not make use of them, but bring people around our city. As you said, you've walked around and found other areas, and that keeps our commercial area a little bit more alive. Retailers had said that it was great seeing people coming along, looking and putting the numbers down. The commercial area gave $3,500 worth of prizes. So without them, without the council and without the community, we don't have it. So it was a really good promotion, and I was lucky enough to be there with the draw today. With the gingerbread man, yeah. The other thing I noticed here is your Reader's Cup. I'm usually a part of the Reader's Cup. And it looks like Hillcrest Primary School's made history of being both winners, the Quizmaster and the Creative Challenge. So that's something that's really good and it should be ongoing. So yeah, great things are happening.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. I suppose me being me, it's probably really relevant to actually acknowledge the financial situation of council. Taking into consideration as at the 30th of November, our current financial position is $989,000 ahead of budget, which is going to contribute to, a potential surplus of $24.5 million come next year. So I think that needs to be acknowledged and shouldn't be underestimated how influential and how powerful that will be for this community with respect to what we can actually do. And again, I suppose my little pet one is looking at our car parking revenue, and it's pleasing to see that we've sort of we're not too far away from where we should be. There's been a small decline in the Formby Road car park, down 7%. Always car park down 5%. The Edward Street car park down 10%. But I suspect that would be a lot of roadworks and happening around Fenway, etc. So, so I'm just really, really pleased, and I think the community should be pleased that we're in such a strong financial position, taking into consideration some of the financial positions that other LGAs find themselves in the state.
Thank you. Further questions, comments from Councillor Martin?
Thank you, Mayor. Just make comments in regards to communications and especially the social media. It's always amazes me the reach of social media, and in this case, I note the input for the Mersey Bluff playground, 1.43 thousand clicks and highlights, and it just goes to show that the community is interested in what's happening in our community, especially around the Bluff playground, and it's very much so that it's inclusive for an all ability playground, which we've been making much now over the years. Seeing there was one built Sunset, and it's now having that feedback from the community of how important it is that we are inclusive with our playgrounds. I'd also like to take the opportunity to call out to our volunteers and not-for-profit organisations and charities that have been involved in our events and activities and providing feedback for our community events, and a huge congratulations to all, and thank you for how you're making our community great. It's also being role models in this area to teach our young people about volunteerism, which I think is fruit in the pudding. Additionally, through the report, it highlights the work by our council staff and management for our community. And again, congratulations and thank you to all our management and staff. And I take this opportunity to wish everyone the hope that their Christmas and New Year be everything their dreams and wish to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments? I certainly, congratulations on the Reader's Cup, Councillor Martin. It was a lovely thing to be part of. How many schools entered into that?
There was 9 this year.
Yeah, it was great. And it was lovely to have the Kentish Mayor there as well, Kate Haverley, and Felicity Slideboss was there, and Tina Snare. And it was just so cool to see how different kids interpret books. 6 great books, and then just to see, like, one of them put a poem together, and then they performed it at their assembly. I don't know if you realise that or not, which was just unbelievably cool. And it's just lovely to see kids coming through like that and embracing books and embracing reading, and then having their own way of thinking about how that book meant to them. So it was just lovely. We also had the Senior Centre 60th anniversary, and it was just lovely to be there too. 60 years. Isn't it great to see that still going? One of my father's favourite places to go to in his later years. And it was just wonderful to have the Mersey singers there, and it's just such a lovely, warm, fuzzy place to. The atmosphere there is just wonderful. So congratulations to them because it's still there, still alive, still kicking, and it's just wonderful. And if I might just also add, yeah, look, all the work that has been done by all the amazing staff at our council, so proud of them. Everybody from whatever you do it so well. And I think all our staff are taking great pride in how the city's looking, and it's all due to this wonderful council that we're part of. We're so lucky to be part of. So they do a remarkable job. And, you know, most of the time people are only coming to see us because they've got a complaint. Isn't that right, Greenstone? But the thing is, we know that, we do know that, but the great thing is of how we can just educate our public on what we do, whether it's our area or not, whether it might be a different level of government, or what we can do to help them. And thank you for letting us know. Let's see what we can do. So, you know, we're open, doors are open. We communicate well to our community out there. And look, obviously, sometimes we have to tell them, no, we can't do that, or no, that's not possible. But it's the way our staff go about telling people is just remarkable because they do such a good job. So I'm very, very pleased to say it's been a great 2024 and I'm looking forward to a great 2025. If I could ask Councillor Levine, please. No, sorry.
Yeah, I thought Councillor Moss had something to say, but things okay. So just to clarify, that was the Australasian Green Gown Award. It's actually awarded to the University of Tasmania. And that was for the creating impact for the 2023 BioBlitz at Kelsey T. So it's a sustainability award that goes to a tertiary institution, but obviously with an assistance support from council on that one. So I don't think we actually get to put that trophy in our cabinet, so that frees up some space for next year. Looking forward to next week, Eve in the City. So hopefully I'll see some councillors there helping out. I believe it's bringing back the bling. And there'll be, and so there's a Glam Slam fashion parade, which I'm sure you'll be in.
You need some
judging.
You need to wear some bling.
I don't have bling. My dress ups only extend to Christmas, and then I go back to boring teacher wear. So also you just mentioned the customer service, and I did look through that as well. With our positive responses on people with their exit surveys and being satisfied or very satisfied with how they're treated at council when they come in or use the chatbot or however we get that feedback. It really does look great, but obviously people are impressed with when they get the response that they're after. I'm sure we can't please everyone all the time. That was it. Thank you, Mayor. So consider it closed for 2024.
Thank you, Councillor Viney. Eloquently put. If I could ask all those in favour.
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7 is the closed session. If I could have a move of recommendation of Councillor Murphy and Councillor Viney. Councillor Murphy.
Nearly decision, man.
Thank you, Councillor Viney.
Likewise, thank you, Mayor.
Any further comments? If not, I'll ask Councillor Murphy.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in
Aye.
favour? Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We are finishing this session, therefore, at 6:43. Claire, thank you. Thank